Hey guys, welcome back to the Magoon Squad show. I just wanted to say real quick, thank you guys for tuning in and staying with us here. We're going to be bringing that content more and more, and it's going to continuously get better as we go along, uh, especially with the NFL ramping up as well. It's just going to be me today, but we're going to kind of dive into a lot of different sports real quick. But let's go ahead and start out with week one of the NFL. I kind of just wanted to go through real quick and give I know we kind of did this, but I'm going to focus more on week one here and kind of give my picks for what I see happening this weekend. Let me see if I can move that camera for you guys. There we go. We'll just set it up here in the middle. So, taking a look at the schedule, let's go ahead and start out with our Thursday night football game. You got the Ravens at the Chiefs. Again, I can see the Ravens picking up this one at the Chiefs here. I think it could go either way. I think the current line for the Ravens is 3.5 right now. So I mean, I'd probably take the points for the Ravens. Probably lose by. Oh no, it's at 3. I'll probably take 3.5 if I didn't like an alternate spread for them. I'd probably take 3.5. But regardless of that, I think the Ravens pick up that win. And since this is a neutral site game, go ahead and give me you got Green Bay at plus 120 over on FanDuel. 2.5 is the spread for that game. Go ahead and give me the Eagles. I think the Eagles find a way to get it done, regardless of it being a neutral site game down in Brazil. I don't really see them losing that one. Let's go ahead and dive into our next one. A lot of people are excited about the Titans and the Bears. Titans are currently 4.5 point underdogs, plus 176 over on FanDuel. Chicago Bears at minus 210. I'm not sure where all this blind faith comes in from the bettors and the sports books out there. But I mean, honestly, like Parker was saying, I don't know. I don't remember if I chose the Bears or not, but I'm probably going to give this to the Titans or at least pick the spread on them. I think Titans 4.5 is a safe bet, in my opinion. But, I don't know. Titans are one of those teams where they could easily win on the road. It's at home sometimes where they struggle a little bit. But honestly, when they go on the road and play like a Chicago, a Washington Commanders, people like that, they tend to pick up those wins on the road. So, with Callahan in there now, Will Levis, a newer offense, Calvin Ridley, Hopkins is not going to make I don't know if he'll make the trip, but I know he's going to be out. And then, of course, as well as Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears splitting the running back duties back there. I kind of like the Titans for that one. Moving on. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Atlanta Falcons. Also an afternoon game. You got the Steelers at plus 3.5, plus 156 over on FanDuel, minus 186 for the Atlanta Falcons. I'm probably going to take the Atlanta Falcons at home. There's just too much concern for me with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think it's just too new to go out the gates with the win. Now, would I like to see them come out of the gates with the win if I was a Steelers fan? Yes. Hypothetically, do I think that's going to happen? No. But honestly, I would say the Falcons are going to win, so I'm going to do their money line, but I'm going to take the Steelers spread. I'll do 7.5 or 3.5. Really, whatever you're comfortable at for that game. But moving over here to the Jaguars and Dolphins, I think this is the most interesting one coming into the year. The Dolphins have put themselves in a position to compete and contend for the Super Bowl, and then the Jaguars are trying to do that a little. Not re-signing Calvin Ridley back, sticking with Christian Kirk, drafting Brian Thomas Jr. Evan Ingram's still there, Travis Etienne still there, Trevor Lawrence. That offense is still very good, and the defense is not bad either. It's just the biggest question is their offensive line. Can their offensive line win the line of scrimmage against the Dolphins' offensive line, which is not insane either? Just with the offensive power of the Dolphins, I mean, Jags are plus 3.5, plus 148. on the road. Um, give me the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins take the week 1 win here against the Jags. Sadly, I think the Jags could put up a good fight. I just don't think they're gonna win it. Uh, I know I skipped over the Bengals and the Patriots. I'm just gonna go Bengals here. I probably wouldn't take the Bengals money line minus 450 if I was a betting man. But looking at spread wise, they're at 9.5 right now. I'd probably take them around 6.5 if I'm gonna bet on that one. I don't think 9.5 is crazy, but I just don't. I'm not comfortable with that in the NFL. Anything could happen. So these are professional athletes. So not really comfortable with betting 9.5 there. Next one, you start out with a huge divisional matchup: the Texans versus the Colts to start out the year. Another tough one. I mean, CJ Stroud and the Texans are a very sharp team with Stephon Diggs and still Nico Collins and having, Tank Dell and just having a bunch of really decent and talented receivers as well as picking up, still having Brevin Jordan and picking up another tight end and then having Joe Mixon in the back. Go ahead and give me the Texans. I think they're just the more experienced team now, in my opinion. I'm not saying Anthony Richardson and the Colts are bad, with Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman, and those guys. But my biggest thing is just with Richardson not playing a full year, not having one under his belt compared to Shroud, taking them to the playoffs. I think they just have more experience, more chemistry as a team. But Texans minus 2.5 over on FanDuel, minus 156 as well. I'm comfortable taking that money line there. Moving on, we got the Minnesota Vikings and the New York Giants. Right now, the Vikings are favored minus 130, minus 1.5 over on FanDuel. I'm honestly going to lean towards the Giants here. I know with the running back situation, it's a little tough, but it's just one of those things to me that it's hard. I'm not saying that Aaron Jones and Justin Jefferson can't get the job done. I'm huge fans of that. But my biggest thing is just it really is like how much can you trust Sam Darnold as a quarterback, right? I mean, there's been so much just change for Sam Darnold through his whole career. Where's the consistency from him? And that's kind of my biggest thing is like, how can you trust Sam Darnold? And I'm not saying you can't trust Daniel Jones either, right? Because Daniel Jones is not equally as good, but or better. I think he is a little better, but not crazy. But yeah, just give me the Giants at plus 110. I'm more comfortable with Daniel Jones than I am Sam Darnold, honestly, especially at home opening up the NFL. But just go ahead and give me the Giants there. I think Malik Neighbors has a big breakout game for his first start. Moving on here, we got the Panthers at the Saints. Saints minus 210, minus 3.5 on FanDuel. Go ahead and give me the New Orleans Saints at home. I think, and you can probably see behind me the jersey, I think we're a solid team this year. I don't, defensive wise, I don't think there's any gaps in our defense. Our defensive line solid. Pete Warner and Demario Davis and Chase Young and Cam Jordan and Marshawn Lattimore. And just, I think our defense is pretty solid all around. It's really the question of can the offense move the ball and can the offense score if our defense gets stops. I think they can, personally, me. Even losing Michael Thomas. I mean, Michael Thomas hasn't really been on our team, to be honest. He's, like I said, he has not been relevant on our team for a while. Just injuries has really set him back. But, you have Alvin Kamara, Derek Carr, Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed. I think these are solid guys that can kind of step up, especially Rashid Shaheed. He had some big moments last year, didn't play really consistent, but I think this year he could start. You could start seeing him play a little bit more consistent. But yeah, I think our defense really carries us through the year. Paulson Adebo, Tyrann Mathieu, Cam Jordan, Pete Warner, Demario Davis, just, Marshawn Lattimore. I don't know why I said Lattimore. Marshawn Lattimore, Chase Young, Peyton Turner, Cole McKinstry, our nice rookie that we got. Just a bunch of, and then Willie Gay from the Chiefs too. That always played solid on the Chiefs. So, just looking at that, I'm more comfortable in our defense than the Panthers, and whatever they have, offense or defense. I'm not really sure if you can classify either one. But moving on, you got the Buffalo Bills at home minus 300, a 6.5 point favorite. Of course, I'm going with the Bills there. I'm not gonna take them on the spread though. I'm gonna lean the opposite way, or even take like a 3.5 point win for the Bills, maybe like a 24-20 win, or a 4 point win. Either way, um, nothing really to say there. I think Josh Allen just takes care of business at home. There's not really much to talk about for them against the Cardinals. Too many questions for the Cardinals coming into that game and coming into the year. Moving on, we got the last AFC versus AFC matchup, the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm going to go ahead and take the Chargers at home, opening up the year with the new coach and Harbaugh. I just think it's one of those hype factors around. Plus, you got I don't want to say J.K. Dobbins is not going to be good. I feel for the guy. He keeps getting injured, and I really do feel for him. But I think, 1 year he has to have a really good year, and I think it could be this year. Injuries have really set him back, but I think he could really show what his potential was with the Chargers. And then, Justin Herbert, I believe he's going to be playing. I don't think the injury is too bad on his foot that he's not going to be playing. But a new offense for sure, but that defense is still solid. Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa, Derwin James, just a really solid defense still that I'm comfortable going with the LA Chargers in this one over Gardner Minshew and the Raiders versus Devontae Adams as well. Moving on to an AFC versus NFC matchup, we got the Denver Broncos facing off against the Seattle Seahawks. I was going to go with the Seahawks on this one. I think Kenneth Walker, and I'm sure a lot of other people have agreed, they've heard a lot of good stuff coming out of camp. I think Kenneth Walker has a really big year this year. But I think the Seahawks take care of business at home, minus 270 and a minus 5.5 favorite at home for that game. Like I said, I'll take their money line on that. I think the Seahawks are a really solid team. Still, DK Metcalf, JSN, Kenneth Walker, Geno Smith. I still think offensively they're a solid team. Defensively, that there's a lot of questions with Pete Carroll gone. Let's kind of see where they're at. I think they'll be okay though. Especially at home versus the Broncos first game. Moving on, we got the Dallas Cowboys versus the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns are favored minus 142 and a 2.5 point favorite at home. This is the one I said I could see the Cowboys going to Cleveland and beating them, but it's really one of those games where I think Cleveland gets the job done, even without Nick Chubb, Deshaun Watson, Amari Cooper, Jerry Jeudy, David Njoku, and Jerome Ford at the running back. I still think they can get the job done even without Nick Chubb. But really, we'll see. The Cowboys, losing their cornerback as well for the year is tough, especially when he led the NFL in interceptions. That's going to be a tough loss for them. So we'll see how they kind of deal with that with Amari Cooper and Jerry Jeudy coming into that game. Next game, we had the Washington Commanders and Jayden Daniels' first start versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Tampa Bay versus Baker Mayfield, a team who did make the playoffs last year. Tampa Bay minus 180, 3.5 point favorite. Who do I take? I'm going to take Tampa Bay for this one. I don't really have any doubt in my mind. It's tough, but that team's still solid. Baker Mayfield, Rashard White, Bucky Irving, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Trey Palmer, Kate Otten. Still a really solid offense, and then a pretty good defense as well. I would take the 180 against Washington at home versus the rookie quarterback Jayden Daniels. And now you see we have a couple more games left, just two more really. Let's go ahead and dive into the LA Rams versus the Detroit Lions. I picked Detroit. Parker picked the LA Rams to pick up that one. Matthew Stafford going back to Detroit for the second time since he's been gone. Plus 164, 3.5 point underdog is the Rams. The Lions minus 196. I think it would be close. I think the Lions probably win by a touchdown. I'd probably go 7.5 for that, but I would either do Lions money line or plus 7.5 for the Rams in case they do win. I think that game could go either way. I think it really is just a shootout between Stafford and Goff, so we'll see kind of where that is. I think the over for that game is 51.5 points, which I think is the highest even with the Dolphins playing, that is the highest over under the entire week. The highest over under for the entire week is 51.5 for the Lions and Rams. Like I said, it's going to be a high scoring shootout. Sunday Night Football should be a really good one. And then finally, you got the New York Jets and Aaron Rodgers heading to San Francisco, facing off against the NFC champions. I mean, I'm going with San Francisco on this one. I can't really see San Francisco losing this at home. Minus 205, a 4.5 point favorite. I think Rodgers keeps it close. Probably lose by 3 in Rodgers fashion, but I'll take the plus 4.5 for the Jets, or the minus 205 for the 49ers in that money line. So this is kind of where we sit on week 1. Chargers 1-0 to start the year. Raiders, Chiefs, Broncos 0-1. Texans 1-0. Titans 1-0. Colts, Jags 0-1. Dolphins, Bills 1-0. Pats, Jets 0-1. Bengals, Ravens, Browns all 1-0. Steelers 0-1. Probably could even see Steelers being 1-0. Saints, Bucks, Falcons 1-0. Panthers 0-1. Eagles, Giants 1-0. Commanders, Cowboys 0-1. Lions 1-0. Packers 0-1. Vikings 0-1. Bears 0-1. 49ers 1-0. Seahawks 1-0. Rams and Cardinals 0-1. So that's kind of where I have it there. Again, I'm not an expert or anything on sports betting. I don't really take it serious like that, but that's just kind of where my picks are for this week. But now let's kind of dive into some other stuff here. I kind of wanted to touch on and get back on MLB. We haven't really talked about that in a bit since last week, and a lot of stuff has happened. You know, the Baltimore Orioles are up 9-0 right now, and the White Sox, as you can imagine. Phillies are down 4-6 to the Blue Jays. 2-0 or the Braves up on the Rockies right now. And then you got a couple more games later tonight. Dodgers, Angels, Mariners, Athletics, Diamondbacks, Giants. Anyway, let's take a look at the standings here. I talked about how the Baltimore Orioles could win that division and overtake the Yankees. Right now, if they win against the White Sox, which they are up 9-0 in the top of the 6, should comfortably win that. They will have taken the lead in that division with 81 wins and 58 losses, or 59 losses. So they will have taken the win over the Yankees, having played 2 games over them, it looks like, though. And then, you know, you got Guardians should win that division, 79-59. Twins are the next closest one at 75 with the Royals. I don't really think they catch up, in my opinion. They could. I don't think they will, though. I think the Guardians will hold out. The biggest jump from the last time we talked were the Houston Astros. I think the Houston Astros have been on a nice little stretch in August there. You know, they picked up the win at the Phillies. They picked up 5 wins in a row, lost to the Reds last night, but did pick up 5 straight wins, so that really helped them secure that divisional spot of the Mariners and Rangers. Moving on, things are really heating up in the NL East. You know, the Phillies at 81-56 with the Braves 7 games back and Mets 7.5 games back. Phillies probably will win that division. Honestly, I don't see really a reason they lose that unless they start losing games and can't picking up some wins. But the Braves at 74-63. If we can sweep the Rockies here, and sweep the Blue Jays, if we can just win, I mean, I wouldn't say sweep, but if we sweep the Rockies, 2-1 the Blue Jays, beat Cincinnati, and 2-0 the Nationals, it could make for something really interesting. The Mets also at 74 wins could put themselves in the spots as well. Excuse me. The Nationals, though, have been on a nice upside just with Dylan Cruz and everything that he's bringing to the team. It's looking nice for them for next year. Not for right now, of course. The Brewers at 81-57. I don't see the Cubs catching up to them in the Central. And then finally, the last time we talked, the Dodgers, Padres, and Diamondbacks race was closer, but now we got the Dodgers 7-3 in their last 10. Dodgers at 83 wins, Padres at 79, 5 games back, Diamondbacks at 77, 6 games back. I think Dodgers will be okay and win that division as well. You can kind of look at the playoff chances here. I'm just kind of looking here. Braves at 75% chance to make the playoffs, but Padres and Diamondbacks, and that's the thing. Let's go take a look at the wild card real quick. I mean, there's only 3 spots, so like I was saying, Padres Diamondbacks should secure play a wild card spot as well as the Braves maybe, but they're kind of fighting with the Mets on that right now. Baltimore Orioles, it'll be between them or the Yankees who gets a wild card spot, depending on who wins that division. Then you got the Twins and Royals as well. Boston Red Sox are still trying to fight for a they're still trying to fight for a playoff spot, a wild card spot, but they're 13.6% chance to make it, as well as the Tigers at 6.8% chance to make it as well. I really think it's just going to be Phillies, Braves, Dodgers, Padres, Diamondbacks, Brewers in the NL, and then the AL will be Yankees, Orioles, Guardians, Twins, Royals, Astros in that one. Again, I could kind of do my bracket when we get closer to playoffs, but like I said, if the Orioles are a wild card team, I'd probably pick them to win it all. Like I said, I think it's good for a team that doesn't have a lot of experience and that's kind of young, like the Orioles, to come in with, like I said, with hot bats and just being able to feel what it's like in the atmosphere and feel what it's like in a playoff environment to bring it into a divisional matchup if they win their wild card as well. But like I said, if they win, I really do think the Orioles could be one of those teams to watch out for because if the bats are hot, the bats are cooking. I don't think the Yankees are a little too consistent at the bottom of the order for me to confidently say that they're going to win it. I mean, they're not a bad team. It's just one of those things to me. It's the bottom of the order sometimes can struggle. Like sometimes they come through. Sometimes they come through when the top of the order is struggling. But like for instance, you got Austin Wells 0 for 4, 1 for Giancarlo Stanton. Rizzo's 1 for 4, a guy who used to be a pretty solid batter, batting a 228, not too bad. Anthony Volpe 1 for 4, Verdugo 1 for 4, and like I said, the team's solid. You got Stanton, Jazz, Rizzo, Volpe, Verdugo, Judge, Soto, Torres. Very solid batting order, very solid fielding. But again, like I said, if the top of the order struggles. If Soto's having an off night, if Judge is having an off night, 1 for 5 for Judge, still batting at 326. I'm just saying if he has an off night with Soto, can the rest of the order pick up for the top of the order struggling? Another team that I think could be a really interesting team to watch is the Milwaukee Brewers. Even without Christian Yelich, even though he's, 3-month recovery time from when he got injured August 27th, so he's probably going to be out for the playoffs, unfortunately. But I mean, from looking at their games, they're still doing a pretty solid. I mean, looking at the box score here from their last one, the 9-3 win over the St. Louis Cardinals. I mean, Trudeau is batting very well, 278. Contreras is batting a 280, batting very well as well. And then a lot of guys at the bottom of their order batting a Willie Adames, 255, Mitchell, 263, Sam's batting a 267, Ortiz is batting a 241. So like I said, Brewers is just kind of everyone's batting a consistent like 250 or above. There's one guy that's batting, two guys batting a 211, Rice Hoskins and Bowers, who's batting a 198 and a 211. But regardless, everyone is batting around a 250 on that team, which could really help them carry into the playoffs there. A very interesting team to watch because, like I said, when the bats are hot for them. Like I said, the differential for that team, run scored versus run against, is plus 139, which I think is the highest, is the highest in the MLB. So, kind of just overall thoughts on the AL. If I had to pick one team, could you consider the Orioles an underdog? I want to take a look at their World Series odds. So they are 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can't consider them an underdog. Okay. Well, in that case, I'll take the Orioles at plus 700 as my favorites. As an underdog team in the AL, I'd probably take the Kansas City Royals at plus 2,000. So like I said, those would be my two teams, a favorite and an underdog. Over in the NL, I'd probably take the Phillies at plus 500 and the Brewers at plus 16 as my underdog kind of long shot odds. So that's kind of where I'm at for MLB. Real quick, gonna hop into NHL. As you guys all saw, probably if you keep up with the NHL, Leon Draisaitl did get a contract extension with the Edmonton Oilers. A huge thing for the Edmonton Oilers and Connor McDavid. It was a $112 million contract over, I think, the next 8 years for him. But kind of looking at the teams now, I think the biggest upside and honestly the quickest improvement that we're gonna see, low key, might be the San Jose Sharks. A lot of people are liking the San Jose Sharks team. I think they have a really nice team now that the Predators gifted them Yaroslav Askarov. As a Preds fan, still not happy about that, but it is what it is. Yaroslav Askarov won it out. We didn't really have any leverage to do anything with that. But anyway, you got some veterans on this team, but a lot of young, nice, Celebrini, who is probably going to win the Calder this year. Mike Hoffman, veteran kind of player. Mikael Granlund, veteran player. And then a lot of decent, mid-age kind of guys. Will Smith, another rookie that they drafted last year. Alex Winberg. Just like I said, a lot of really solid. Logan Couture, of course, the veteran, the captain of the team, I believe, still. Barclay Goodrow, I don't think that was a good pickup for them. It's not bad, but I don't think it was a good pickup for the San Jose Sharks. In the postseason, he's pretty good, but it's just in the regular season he kind of struggles a little bit. 80 games played, 12 points for him. Not really too crazy. And then of course, dang, they got Nolan Burke and Igor from the Nashville Predators. Wow, I didn't even know they had Igor. But anyway, they're just, a farm. We're just their farm system, I guess. Looking at their wingers, though, like I said, Igor, Nashville, we couldn't really use him that well. So I'm glad Igor is, getting a chance to play there. Alexander Barbanoff, he should be okay. William Eklund should be fine. So they got an Igor and an Igor there now. Nice. Over right wingers, Kevin LeBlanc should be fine. That should be a good veteran player for them. Mitchell Russell, young guy. Tyler Toffoli should be what I think is a good pickup for them. Satterborn, not really a crazy pickup for them. I don't really know where his role is going to be for that team. But, and then, of course, defense, you got Cody Ceci, a veteran player. Lucas Carlson from the Florida Panthers, 27, veteran player. Matt Banning as well, a veteran player. But then you got a lot of young guys on that team. Again, I'm looking at this. It's kind of hard. Dude, that Vlasic contract is killing the Sharks, though. I bet they cannot wait to get that dude off his paywall. How much is Vlasic's contract? I know it's a lot. Yeah. 8-year with a cap hit of $7 million per season. Yeah, they need that dude off the roster ASAP. They're just begging him to get off the roster. They have him, so he's on his, not last year, but second to last year. Still at $7 million though on the contract, dude. They gotta get that man off the contract. Honestly, being on that contract is killing the Sharks payroll because they are able to. Once they get him off their payroll, dude, they're going to be able to do so much more with the money they have, honestly. And I'm really looking, Mackenzie Blackwood, Vancha, yeah, I mean, literally, Vlasic literally takes up so much money. Oh, my God. Do they have any dead cap space? Yeah, they have Brent Burns, who they're still paying 2.7, Martin Jones, who they're still paying 1.6, Eric Carlson, 1.5, and Thomas Fertile as well. Not too bad. I mean, they're not in a bad spot, but I think the biggest improvement now with Yaroslav Askarov is going to be they're going to be the biggest improvement. I'm honestly curious to see about the New Jersey Devils, having a new coach. I mean, with their centers at Nico Hishner, Jack Hughes, Michael McLeod, who would be there for? Dawson Mercer, maybe? I know he's young, but he'll probably be their fourth line kind of guy. Left wingers, Jesper Bratt still solid. Eric Halla, hit or miss as well. Andre Palat still fine. Uh, you got right wingers. Timo. This is the biggest question I have for the New Jersey Devils, and they haven't used him right. But it's my biggest question, and I think the biggest thing that the New Jersey Devils and the fans can probably agree with me out there is if you're gonna go out there, get Timo, sign him to a big contract and all this stuff because of the potential that he had. I think you need a coach to figure out how to use him the correct way because honestly, Timo is a solid. He was really good at San Jose when they used him correctly. I think, with Ruff being the last head coach there, I believe it was Lindsey Ruff. But anyway, I don't think Timo has ever been used properly. I think once you find a coach that could use him properly with Sheldon Keefe now from Toronto, I think hopefully we'll see an improvement out of Timo Meyer this year. You got Calfoot, Dougie Hamilton, Luke Hughes, of course, Brett Pisces, Brendan. Wow, they got Brandon Dillon too from Winnipeg. That's a solid pickup as well. So yeah, I'm actually really curious to see how they do this year. Jacob Markstrom, Jake Allen. Yeah, I mean, this is an interesting team. New Jersey's definitely an interesting team for me this year. Um, I kind of like to see what they would do with their team, but those are kind of like teams I see doing a little bit better than they did last year, especially with the Nashville Predators. I could talk all day about the Nashville Predators and how we should be doing a little bit better with the guys that we got. Vinny Hinostroza picked him up, a little veteran presence as well. Steven Stamkos, of course, you guys all know that. With with Jonathan Marshall Salt and just I and Brady Skagey as well. I'm really interested to see how we do this year. I think we're kind of stuck in this. Wait, Kevin Lincoln still with us? I don't think so. It says ESPN has him on our roster. I don't think we re-signed him though. I think he's still in the market. I mean, we have the money to sign him, and honestly, Kevin Lincoln is a great backup. I don't even know why we got rid of Kevin Lincoln, but regardless, I'm kind of worried about our defense right now. I think our defense is the biggest hit or miss question that we need. I think that's kind of where we need to reestablish and get to back to where we were when we made the Stanley Cup. I think it kind of hurts not having that defensive presence that we had. Like I said, our offense is going to be insane. That Yossi to Stamkos or Yossi to Stamkos to Forsberg is going to be crazy this year, especially betting wise. But I don't know. I'm kind of worried about just our defense. I mean, there's not really a bunch of depth. Carrier, Fabro, Yossi Lazan, Brady, and Spencer Stastny, and Luke Shin. I mean, it's nothing too good. Average at best. That's what I was hoping we would improve on. In the offseason, didn't really do much of that, which is fine. I get it, but it is what it is, I guess. I don't know what else to say. I mean, it is what it is, and we're just going to kind of have to live with that. But I'm just going to kind of give my takes real quick. I think the biggest thing, and again, we'll talk about this in tomorrow's episode with Parker. We're going to get into European soccer again. I think the biggest thing that I will kind of want to talk about while I'm just have the table to myself, and we'll touch on it again, is the Declan Rice red card. I don't necessarily agree with it. I wanted to see some consistency from that game. Brighton had a little bit more favoritism from the ref than Arsenal did. Again, I want to see a little bit more consistency in the cards. When he kicked it out, when Brighton's player kicked it out of the pitch to kill time, that should have been a yellow. Did not get a yellow for that. And I will say Declan Rice was in front of the free kick, but it was like, dude literally moved the ball 5 yards forward from where the spot of the free kick was. So he was kind of in the right to be like, in the way, trying to be like, hey man, it's like, you can't move the ball 5 yards forward. But then apparently the yellow card was for time wasting, which, I mean, dude literally whacked the hell out of his leg. So I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure time wasting was the thing there. I mean, dude got whacked in his leg. And then, of course, Arteta as well in post interview. Same thing I just said, the inconsistent decisions from the ref uh, with uh, how that match was handled. Not really anything crazy there. 1-1 loss was pretty disappointing, or sorry, 1-1 draw was pretty disappointing. Brentford winning 3-1 against Southampton. Everton losing in the epic comeback. I'll save that for tomorrow with Parker. Ipswich drawing with Fulham. I think that was the biggest thing. Ipswich played very well that game. Like I said, Fulham is that team that's set up pretty well defensively, and just picking up a draw there for us, which is huge. Honestly, for that team, it's a huge accomplishment from where they were. Leicester City losing to Aston Villa didn't really, wasn't really expecting them to draw or win that. Nottingham Forest, Wolverhampton drawing, West Ham United losing 3-1. Holland with another hat trick. Now we're seeing the Holland that we did see when he first got into the Premier League, just going berserk. Getting a hat trick against West Ham is not easy. Of course, Barcelona won 7-0. Atletico Madrid, 90+2. Angel Correa wins it for them 1-0. Mbappe finally scores 2 goals for Real Madrid. Good for him. Everyone's been questioning that, but Mbappe finally comes through for Real Madrid, picking up 2 goals in that match. Dortmund drawing with Berman, not really ideal. Schlotterbeck red card as well. Glad we just held on to the draw at the end of it. Stuttgart drawing 3-3 with the minus. Leverkusen finally 35 games of unbeaten, and we'll get into more of that tomorrow. But Leipzig finally ending Leverkusen's 35-game unbeaten streak. And then we'll dive into some MLS, save that for Parker as well. And then, the other games, Chelsea, Crystal Palace. Chelsea, again, that's a game Chelsea should have won at home. Palace drawing with them. And this is where I was saying it too, and I'm sure Parker can agree. We'll talk to him as he is a Chelsea fan. The inconsistencies from Chelsea is the biggest thing that worries me about that team. You have them scoring, 6 goals the last game? 6-2, and then now you're going, 1-1. It's like, where's the consistency, Where's the consistency in all this? Because Chelsea is a team, that has the potential, and I don't know why picking up Sancho was a good move for them. It wasn't. They have so many wingers now, but like I said, it's one of those things where I just need to see a little bit more consistency from Chelsea there. Newcastle United did pick up a win 2-1 over Tottenham Hotspurs with Isak's goal at the 78th minute. Harvey Barnes' 37th minute goal as well. And then, of course, everyone knows Liverpool dominating Manchester United at Old Trafford. 2 goals from Luis Diaz, Mohamed Salah with 1, 3-0 win. A huge win for them. Girona, 2-0 win over Sevilla. Bayern Munich, 2-0 win as well. Harry Kane got a pin. Muller with the goal. And then another MLS action. Honestly, biggest one over here, Juventus Roma, ending in a 0-0 draw. Verona, 2-0 win. And I thought Verona was going to win too. Verona's been playing pretty nice lately. Fiorentina, 2-2 draw as well with Monza. Disappointing for them too. Monaco and Lens both drew 1-1. Nice 1-4-1. And then you got PSG beating Lille 3-1. And like I said, PSG has been very, very good ever since. Like even with Mbappe gone, I still think PSG is a solid team. I don't think there's any bad things about that PSG team. PSG is just a solid team even without Mbappe. In fact, I want to say they're even a little bit better without Mbappe, just because they're spreading the love around, spreading the ball, spreading the love. Moving on to the Netherlands, PSV winning 3-0 against Go Ahead Eagles. So they got a 4-0 record. I don't really see that changing. That PSV team is pretty strong this year. Braga drawing as well, so they're 2-2. Celtic 4-0 right now, 3-0 win over the Rangers, which was a huge win for Celtic. Good for them. I'm trying to look. Did I miss any more from yesterday, from Saturday? Not yesterday, but from the day before on what I'm looking at. Yeah, so we had Lazio and AC Milan 2-2 draw again. AC Milan still a winless team, 2-1, needs to find that win. Napoli 2-0-1, 2-1 win against Parma. Bologna 1-1 draw with Empoli. Lecce with the 1-0 win as well. Brest with the 4-0 win. Marseille with the 3-1 win, 2-1 record to start out the year. That's good for them. Mason Greenwood finding 2 goals for Marseille. Nothing too crazy went on in Netherlands besides PSV. FC Porto losing 2-0 against Sporting CP. 4-0 for Sporting. FC Porto 3-0-1 now after losing to Sporting. I thought they might score. I thought it was going to be more of a both teams to score situation, but it wasn't, unfortunately. Again, Turkish, Galat. Galat won 5-1. Good for them again. I thought there's some here's Belgium. I thought there was some Belgium action that we missed. In covering these soccer plays. Let me see leagues. I'll touch on Belgium here. And I actually like the Belgium league. I think the Belgium league is very entertaining and fun to watch. Where are they on this list here? Copenhagen won 3-1. That's my boys, Copenhagen. Heck yeah. AEK Athens 3-0 win. Saw that. Pioka 2-1 win. Where is the Netherlands? Where are you? Oh, Belgium. Here we go. Club Blech. Club Blech won 3-0. Ghent and Antwerp 1-1 draw. Kind of saw that coming. I didn't see Anderlecht and Union Saint Gilloise. I don't believe I'm saying that right. That's okay. 0-0 draw as well. I honestly didn't see that because when I was looking at the match facts for that one, that was both teams to score kind of thing. And I was just like, dude, yeah, there's going to be like over 2.5 goals, both teams to score. But nope. It was not both teams to score and over 2.5. But, hey, that is A-okay. It's what it is, But one of the biggest things, I think, who was the guy that went over to, I'm blanking on his name. He went over to the Saudi Arabia League just recently. I totally blanking on his name though. It was big. It was why am I blanking on his name? He was in the Premier League as well. I'm sure you guys know who I'm talking about too. If you guys do know what I'm talking about. But anyway, there's been a lot, Scott McTominay going to Napoli. That was one. Honestly, it was Ivan Toney. That's right. Ivan Toney from Brentford going over to Saudi Arabia League. It was Eddie as well from Arsenal going to Crystal Palace. That one kind of shocked me. Aaron Ramsdale as well transferred out to Southampton. That's who I was thinking of. Ivan Toney going over to the Saudi League. Aaron Ramsdale and Eddie moving over to Palace and Southampton. That was an interesting one. I didn't think Arsenal needed to switch anything up, but it looks like they wanted to go a different direction there. And then, of course, Scott McTominay from Manchester United to Napoli, which I thought was really dumb. Scott McTominay brought that sub presence on the field when he got subbed in around the 70th minute. But, hey, what do I know? Man U fans, you can just keep suffering because you put yourselves in that position. So I'm not even going to feel bad about it. Was there anything else crazy in the transfer that we missed? Not really. Not really. Looking at Romelu Lukaku, back on Napoli, did make his presence and scored, subbing in for Napoli, as well. I think it was Parma, right? Yeah, Lukaku came in 90+2 and scored in that Parma match to tie the game, and then of course won in 90+6. But yeah, I think that that transfer to Napoli will be very, very nice for Lukaku. Uh, Chelsea wasn't going to use him, so I'm glad he got his found his home in Napoli, which makes me believe Napoli could be a threat in Serie A since AC Milan decides not to be a good team. Um, you know, sorry AC Milan, you guys are just kind of bad right now. And then of course Inter Milan. Uh, and then also anything else? Sebastian Haller leaving Borussia Dortmund. That hurts. Kolobali leaving Borussia Dortmund. Dang, we lost all of them on loan. So Haller on loan, Kolobali on loan, Makoku on loan, Oskin on loan. Dude, did we just decide to loan our whole team? Why did I not get this news? So wow, we're down to Kolobali, Haller, and Mokoku. Okay, and Oskin. Okay, okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, that's lame. That's really lame. But okay, I know we got rid of, or not got rid of, but I know we moved Fulkrug and Karmara, but I did not know we loaned out Makoku, Kolobali, and Haller. That's crazy. Okay, well, we're kind of thin at attack now, but whatever. Okay. Cool. I guess if that's what they want to do. But Ajax losing a couple players as well in the transfer. A lot of people transferred out from Ajax. I'm kind of done betting on that team. Ajax, I'm not really crazy on betting on them anymore until they prove it that they deserve to be bet on. But yeah, other than that, we'll kind of dive into more of this stuff tomorrow with Parker. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. That's kind of just my takes on NFL. Man, we covered everything: NFL, NHL, and European soccer. Uh, and MLB. Wow. Yeah, but we'll kind of focus on European soccer tomorrow, and then kind of get into college football as well with Parker. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and I'll see you tomorrow.